There are many different people that discuss many different things, but no one's actually talked about what you need to do in a 1 versus 1, what you need to do in a 3-way, and what you need to do for a free-for-all. Alright? So let's talk about a 1 versus 1 first for this tutorial. In a 1 versus 1, you have to face off against an enemy. Usually, you have a 1 versus 1 to see who's better, or sometimes you do it just for fun. When I fight against Chia, TDM, also known as Joe, I make sure I know what he's about to do. I try and figure out what he's about to do, and then when I figure out what he's about to do, I try and stop it. 1 versus 1 is all about learning how your opponent plays. If you play somebody enough on a 1 versus 1, you can figure out what he's going to do, and then when you team up with somebody against this player in like a team game on craters or pressure point or face-off, you'll know what he's about to do. This happens with anybody if you play them for long enough. So, I guess you could say Chia and I know each other like books. And it's kind of scary, but we do. That's how we play. And it's awesome. Alright, now let's talk about a little things in 1 versus 1 we try and do. In a 1 versus 1, you basically want to try and secure your position over your opponent to win. 1 versus 1s are different, though. You don't have anybody having to worry about getting doubled. You don't have to worry about getting killed by very bad people that double and rush and stuff like that. I mean, you could still rush in a 1 versus 1, but it's kind of hard. The one who's the better skilled opponent will fend off the rush, and then will take back the game and win. 1 versus 1s tend to be the deciding factor of who's better. But there are some things that 1 versus 1s are different from team play. For example, in a 1 versus 1, all you have to do is think. Think, and you will win. You have to outthink your opponent. That's the basic thing doing a 1 versus 1. And that's all I'm going to say on this tutorial in 1 versus 1. Let's move on to 3-ways. 3-ways are going to be exactly like a free-for-all, for a 4-way free-for-all. Alright? Now, 3-ways can go either way, though, because in a 3-way, you can team up with an opponent in, like, 2 versus 1. What you want to try and do is try and be discreet. Don't be earthquaking both enemies and pronouncing that you're God and doing all that stuff. You want to keep quiet. You want to build, and you want to just stay camping. You want to make sure that you're not doing any offensive attacks. You want to let the other people get into a fight, and you just watch and build up your spells, and you take control afterwards. Alright? That's what you basically do. Alright? There's nothing in a 3-way free-for-all that can't be done. You can double, you can rush, you can do any of these. But be prepared. Be warned what happens if you do all this stuff. There's terrible things that can happen if you don't do what you're supposed to do right. Like, for example, if you rush somebody, you can get in big trouble because the other person might rush you because they don't want you killing off that opponent and then taking their land. And then there's also the fact that if you double with somebody, then the other person might form an alliance with that other player too, and then you'll get doubled. Nothing's safe in a free-for-all for a 3-way. Alright, you gotta learn that. If you want to play a 3-way, you gotta keep your head and keep your wits. You gotta be strategic, but don't be aggressive. That's the number 1 rule in a 3-way. Alright, let's talk about a free-for-all 4-way. These are getting more often played. These are played more often than any of the other levels now. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you're being discreet again, and you're not doing anything that can cause attention or make people want to attack you. Like, say you're doing a free-for-all face-off. Make land, chop your trees, build more huts, that's it. Don't go take in the middle, put 50 fire warriors on there, and then start earthquaking everybody, and do 1 earthquake on green, 1 on blue, 1 on yellow. And then, because then you're going to piss everybody off, and they're going to double the crap out of you. Triple, maybe even. Alright? Keep yourself underneath. Don't, I don't know how to explain this. Just don't attack. Be defensive. Be like a little miniature mouse, hiding in a mouse hole. I don't know if that sounds kind of stupid, but I don't care. What you guys want to do in a free-for-all is stay underneath everybody and don't make any aggressive moves. Free-for-alls can be handled in either way. What you could do is you can wait to attack, Or when two people are fighting, you can take a risk and try and volcano one of them, and then try and finish them off. But if you volcano one of them, they're going to get mad, and they're going to stop fighting with that opponent, and they're going to try and kill you. And they might even ally up, so you got to be careful. If you make an attack, you got to finish them off after you do that. You can't just let them go for about another half hour and then attack them again, because you're going to get doubled. There's no way to getting out of it. After you do that, you have to finish them off. You can't wait. Alright? That's the basic rules for every one of these. If you have any questions on how to play a team game, you can look in our other tutorials, and if you still have any questions, you can email Joe or I. Alright, that ends this tutorial session.